Hey there, it's Cliff Dweller and Catfish here. Today we're staying kind of local. We're at one of our local nature preserves ran by NICHES, which stands for Northern Indiana Citizens Helping Environmental or Ecosystem Survive, that's it. And they do a lot of really good stuff with nature preserves in like 13 counties here in northeast Indiana. They manage dozens of nature preserves and they do a really good job. And this is Clegg Memorial Garden, and this is actually their home base. This is where they're located out of. And this is just on the outer edge of Lafayette, Indiana, right on the Wildcat Creek. So the Wildcat is a registered scenic riverway here in Indiana, and one of its tributaries, actually, the Wildcat South Fork, goes right behind our house. So we're going to check out the nature preserve, and hopefully you like it too. So Clegg's Memorial Gardens here is really just a large hillside. There's a roadway right up the hill here, so you may hear cars occasionally. Definitely not really getting out into the wilderness here, but still, for being kind of an urban park, it's pretty nice. But it's mostly all just one big hillside. It slopes all the way down to Wildcat Creek. This can be a really beautiful area depending on what time of year you're here. So the Wildcat Creek right now, this is early fall, October 9th. It is very low levels. I mean, you could literally walk across it and probably not even get your knees wet at the moment. But there are definitely times, it's only a couple miles up here down to the Wabash River, and it does flood quite often throughout the year. This here is a flood gauge. To let you know, it's a spot where they come down and check it out whenever there's a flood event on the Wabash, and of course it always backs up the Wildcat. That's what we've got right here, is one of the flood gauges. So this is Peter's Mill Bridge, where the trail brings us here. As you can see, the Wildcat is very low right now, and generally where we're standing is pretty close to where the standard level would be. But this is an area that's generally pretty popular with fishermen, and kayakers and such. One of the neat things about this small nature preserve is it's got so much variety in such a small area. Parts of the hillside obviously are wooded, forested, and then there's other sections that are more like a savanna, which allows a lot of different types of flora to grow here. I'm starting to see some of the more of the leaf color change. So do you like these little places like this, Caden?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice to get away, but it's close to home, huh? Yeah, it's nice to just listen to the nice silence and relax. And enjoy the occasional landslide. Kind of a unique little formation, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not the typical sandstone weathering like we're used to seeing in places like Turkey Run or Shades, or down in Kentucky like Red River Gorge. This is actually just some kind of gravel conglomerate. I don't think that's the right word, but that's what I'll use for the moment. And it's still obviously eroding. I know when it rains hard you get a lot of seepage and drainage coming back through here. But I've been coming down here for over 20 years and it's remained for that long. And great view. The Oak Savannah Loop Trail. I don't know if we'll see much wildlife here today other than birds and chipmunks and squirrels, but in the past we've seen quite a few deer in here. Well, that's a beautiful view. Kind of makes you feel like you're in the mountains, doesn't it, Kaden?
Mm-hmm.
But realistically, we're only maybe 100 feet or so above Wildcat Creek. Once again, you can just start to see the leaf changing. I mentioned earlier about how this is such a unique place with the partially forested landscape and savanna, and something else you don't see very often is the gravel hill prairie. We've seen the evidence of the gravel down below with the cave-like formations, and it's actually its own little kind of habitat. What do you like about getting out in nature, Caden?
I like the scenery.
Mm-hmm. What's it do for you? Does it make you feel a certain way or anything?
Relaxes.
Relaxes, yep. Anything else? What about wildlife?
Pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm. Is that one of the main reasons you'd like to get out in nature and hike, though?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's some of your favorite things we've seen in some of our outings?
I really like the black bears.
Yep. Well, we're not going to find any black bears here in Indiana, though. Well, not up here anyway. There's actually one down in southern Indiana right now. So that's our little day trip here to Clegg Memorial Gardens here on the outskirts of Lafayette, Indiana. Really kind of enjoyed it. Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, just a nice little spot here. I've been to quite a few of NICHES land trusts, their preserves, so I might have to try to do a whole video series on their various preserves, and every one of them is unique depending on the season. But yeah, it's a pretty cool place. even if it is in a very urban setting.